Memorial Day and our Fun Friday video, I thought that we could do a remembrance ribbon. So this is something that we can put up in our window, we can put in our car, we can put out, and depending on the color, you can use this for other occasions as well. We're going to do red as a show for our military, but you could also use this kind of a ribbon and do other colors. You could use teal for autism, you could use pink for breast cancer. There are lots of other choices. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start by drawing sort of like a loop that goes like a backwards fish almost, or an upside down fish, except that we're not going to add the bottom to it. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And now we want to add our details to make it look three-dimensional. So notice I'm drawing kind of lightly. I'm going to add a little bar here to give it that ribbon look. And now we're going to start to add the ribbons on the side. So I'm going to add a second line here to make it look like it comes down this way. One here. We want to make these even, pretty even on both sides. So I know that it's about a finger's width up all the way down. So I'm going to make this side about the same. You can use your finger to measure. And I'm going to come down about the same. I can check it as I go. Come on down. And draw that second line. All right. Now, we have to decide which of these ribbons is going to be on top. And we'll just use one set of lines. So I'm going to make this one the top ribbon, which means that I'm going to erase these two lines. And that is going to make it look like this one is overlapping the other one. So we're doing some overlapping today. Great skill to have when we're drawing. All right, so see how it tends to look like we have an overlap. Now, we want to add those ends onto our ribbon. We're just going to add a little V shape or a triangle, and we've got the gist of it. I'm going to trace it with Sharpie, and then we'll add some color and shading to really give it that three-dimensional feel. Okay, I'm going to erase any lingering pencil lines just to clean up my drawing. And you can use whatever supplies you have on hand. I'm going to use colored pencils today just because I want to do a little bit of blending. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my red, because like I said, this is going to be a remembrance banner, and a ribbon, rather, and I'm going to go ahead and color it red. All right, I've got my red colored in. Now notice how I followed along the lines of the ribbon. I didn't get real messy. I wanted to make sure it looked like it was going in this, my coloring was going in the same direction as the ribbon. So I followed along, making sure I was going the right way. And now I'm just going over it one more time to make sure I get all those little gaps filled in. All right. Looking pretty good. And now we are going to add some shadows so that it starts to look a little bit three-dimensional. Now you can use black or brown, even purple would work. You just want to have something slightly darker. I'm going to go with a little bit of black today, and I need to sharpen it. So I've got my hand sharpener here. There we go. Clean up my mess. And I'm going to put some shadow in. Now this ribbon here is on top, which means that the one behind it would have a little bit of shadow. So I'm going to just go in with a little bit of dark right here to make it look like it's hidden slightly by that red banner. Now the nice thing about colored pencils is that you can layer in the color. So I'm just going to put a little bit in, and again I'm still following that line of the ribbon, right? Okay, and now I'm going to sort of soften it up a little, get a little lighter. We want it to be darkest where it's closest to underneath, and then it sort of softens up as we go. And we're going to do the same thing over here. This is sort of a little bit underneath because there's a fold in our ribbon. So we're going to make it dark, and then we're going to slightly lighten up. Gradually go a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. And then over here it starts to curl a little. We're going to add a little bit of shadow over here to show that it's rounding out. When we talk about shading, we talk about how when things are farther away, they are darker, and as they get closer, they get lighter. So here's an example of where we have something kind of curling away from us, and we're trying to show that little bit of shadow where this is starting to do that curl. Okay. If you wanted to, you could go in with a little bit of white, and we could try to get a little bit of highlight in here on the top. We may not get a whole lot, but we can try. Get a little bit here, and we might get a little bit in through here. Usually we don't get a whole lot, but that's okay. But this is where we see that it's coming towards us. Okay, now if you want, you can go back in over your black one more time and just blend it out a little bit more with that red so that it doesn't look so black there. This is what I love about colored pencils, is that blending. And different brands blend better than others. And same thing up here. Some blending. All right, and there we have it. You can really start to see how that shading makes it look much more three-dimensional, like we've got a rounded and now if you really want to get fancy, if you remember, our whole theme here is remember one. We have our one soldier, our one dog tag, our one person that we try to remember through all of this. So you could always add a little something to it. You know, I've got some extra space at the bottom. I could do some lettering here, or I could do some lettering at the top. Maybe I'll do like remember. And then I could do one in here. You know, you could do something like that. And we could add some color to that. So you can always fancy these up. And then, like I said, you could do you could use this same drawing, and you could use it in all different kinds of ways. You could do you could color them in pink for breast cancer, in turquoise for autism. You could you may have other, I think purple is another one. You know, different organizations have different colors, so you can always go look at those, and you can use this exact same technique. I'm going to add some more decoration to mine, and I'll probably hang this up. All right, my friends, I hope that you have a great Memorial Day weekend, and that you take a few minutes